I am currently sitting in the living room of my first ever apartment.
A year ago exactly, I got the keys to this apartment in Amsterdam. And since it's a new build, the place was pretty bare bones at that point. Over the last year, I've made this place into what it is now, and I documented most of the process, learning how to lay flooring, sewing curtains, and making some furniture. This is my DIY Amsterdam apartment renovation. After looking for an apartment for about 3 months, I found this spacious apartment. It consists of a big hallway, a combined kitchen and living room, a patio, toilet, small storage for the heat pump and washer and dryer, bedroom, and an ensuite bathroom. When I moved in with my stuff, the laminate flooring hadn't arrived yet due to supply chain issues. So I lived in a pretty dusty home for a few weeks. What I did manage to do before moving in was paint a few walls. I decided to paint one of the walls in the living room and in the bedroom in a pastel color. Since there's a lot of white everywhere, I just wanted to balance it out with some color. And then the flooring arrived, so I could get started. The floor has arrived. I'd never laid laminate flooring before, so I watched some YouTube videos and did research on the type of underlayment I'd need. First, I laid down a vapor barrier since it's a new building, and then a thin underflooring that would let the heat of the underfloor heating through as much as possible. The biggest challenge was definitely around corners. Some pieces I had to recut a few times, but eventually I got everything to fit properly.
Beautiful. The last plank.
After the flooring I was in, I wanted to work on the curtains, as it's pretty essential when you're living in a house already. Sewing them myself was way cheaper than having them tailor-made, so I just bought IKEA blackout curtains and used a second pair to make them longer at the bottom for the bedroom. And then in the living room, I went for a more see-through fabric and simply added a different color of the same curtains at the bottom to avoid seeing a noticeable seam.
I didn't have much furniture to begin with because the previous place that I lived in had most of the furniture that I left there as well and sold to the next tenant. So I didn't have much, which is great because then I can start from scratch and choose everything myself. In this place, it's not so great because my wallet is crying. I did not realize how expensive interior decoration is if you don't own anything, really.
Before I picked up more furniture, I quickly cleaned the flooring and unboxed more of my stuff so I'd have room to put a wardrobe, a rug, plants, and skirting boards. Most of this was very DIY, as you can see, with the curtain railings that decided to fall down a few days after installing them, and this desk tabletop that I tried to use as a dining table in the first few weeks, being held together by these glue clamps. Even though in the process it was a bit stressful in the beginning, I learned a lot. Seeing why something doesn't work, or trying to do something in a different way to see how it then does work, all contributed to me learning more skills. So I installed new curtain racks.
Will they slide or won't they slide? Yeah!
I impulse bought this TV that didn't end up fitting in the car, and then it did. And as a bit of an in-between project, I decided to make a TV console. I still had this spare MDF wood lying around that I had left over from a different project, so I made this TV cabinet. And the cool thing about this, everything is left over. The wood is left over, the paint is left over from a different project, and I made the TV console based on the things that would need to go in it, so it's custom made. If you come too close, it doesn't look too great, but who cares about that?
I have a few things that I want to get done today. I have this print, Matisse print that I bought, and I would like to put this on the kitchen wall right there. I think that would look very cool. And I have another, would you call that a print? Yeah, a poster, I guess. This one, and I want that on the wall right there. But I also want the TV up there. Yes!
After living here for a few months, I realized it would be nice to use the hallway more efficiently. The hallway is very wide, and currently we lack a space where we can work from home undisturbed. If one of us is in the living room and the other one wants to work, having a desk in the living room looks nice, but it's not very practical. So I found this railing system that I decided to use for the hallway. Then everything was kind of coming together, and I decided to focus on the outside. I started a mini vegetable garden on the patio, which is doing really well at the moment, and it makes the patio a nice and green place. Now, all that's left to do are the skirting boards.
Good afternoon. I am taking way longer on the project than I thought I would.
Yep, they're still in the hallway, a year later.